the death of Xbox. Who here owns an Xbox? Very few people. Very few people. I would say, okay, who here owns an Xbox Series X or S? That's a better question. Not an Xbox One, not an Xbox 360. Wow, okay, still a lot of you. Okay, that's more than I thought. I will say I don't own an Xbox anymore. The first console I ever had, this is the console order I went. First console I ever owned was a used PS2 from my older cousin and a Wii. Those were my first two. The first two consoles I ever played was the original Xbox and the GameCube. I had a DSi. Then I never had an Xbox 360 or a PS3. I had an Xbox One. Then I had an Xbox Series S PC. Or PC Xbox Series X. I sold the Xbox Series X for $200 in free chicken. I no longer have that. It's useless. Before this guy even opens his mouth, I'm going to say that I think, genuinely, that Xbox should stop, or Microsoft should stop making Xbox consoles. They should instead make computers that are pre-built Xboxes that are more expensive, but they still eat the losses, and they're just Microsoft branded PCs. Way better idea, because that's where they're getting most of their money anyway.
Xbox might not make another console, and here's all the reasons why.
Because you could have the Game Pass on PC too.
PlayStation 5 since release has been destroying the Xbox in sale. They started off pretty even, then eventually the PS5 just overtook it completely.
And that's honestly, I used to think that the whole console war thing is just fucking stupid. Because they're the same exact thing. They almost have the same fucking specs. The only two things that matter in choosing what console you own is exclusives and the controller. And that's it. What controller you like more holding, right? And I always used to like Xbox controllers. I still think that Xbox controllers are a better controller in terms of feel. I like the blockiness. But I've only owned a PS5 outside of PC in so long that I've gotten so used to PS5 controllers that I just use them so much now. I like having the sticks on. Let me show you. This Xbox controller, which is like covered in dust because I literally haven't used it in that long. That's crazy. Is these two are separated. I like the distance. I like having this. I don't like when they're together. That annoys me.
And in my own life, this also holds true. People I know either have a PS5 or a Nintendo Switch. Not many people have an Xbox Series X or S. And part of the reason why no one bought the Xbox Series S and X is because of the names. The Xbox naming scheme really fell off.
Bro, that is not... I hard disagree. If you're going to make the argument that the Xbox lost the console war because it's named the Series X and S, get the fuck out of here. Hard disagree. I think that the Xbox lost because, number one, exclusives. Number two, all PS5 kids, here's the psychology. PS5, PlayStation kids stay PlayStation kids through adulthood. If you're a fucking PlayStation guy, you're never hopping off the fucking PS wave. You're glazing the PlayStation till you die. Okay? Xbox kids, you have an Xbox when you're a kid, you get a computer. Then you stop using the Xbox. Because all of the games on the Xbox are on the computer. So why the fuck would you ever use an Xbox when you could just have a PC that has all of the games, and if you really want to, you could just plug a USB cord with an Xbox controller into your fucking computer and use it, right, when you have enough money to buy a fucking PC. And they're getting so expensive now that a $500 fucking Xbox, you might as well just get a lower grade PC. PS5, on the other hand, they have games that you literally can't get on anything else. Like, the only reason I own a PS5 isn't because I'm in love with the PlayStation. The PS5, the PlayStation has games like the new FNAF game that'll only be on fucking PS5. I need a PS5 to be able to play that on stream. almost all console games outside of literal PlayStation exclusives are on PC. And then even then, they just end up putting the PlayStation exclusives on console after like 4 years.
Especially when the competition, the PlayStation, just went from PS3 to PS4. It's a lot more clear cut. And Xbox One is confusing. And the Xbox Series X is even more confusing because there's also the Xbox Series S, okay? And they called the previous Xbox upgrades.
What is the PlayStation 5 without the disc drive called? Is it also just a PS5? Because there's 2 different types of PlayStations as well. It's just PlayStation Digital. Oh. Yeah, no, they have better naming. I will give them that. I'll agree with him. I don't think that's the reason they lost, but it is very confusing that it went Xbox 360. Why was it called that? I don't know who the fuck made the decision for that. Xbox 3. I will say, I never even owned one. And the greatest consoles the greatest console to ever exist was the PlayStation 2. I think that's an undisputed thing that most people would agree with. The PlayStation 2 was the greatest console that's ever existed. But I think after that, Xbox 360. And I never even owned one. But when I would go over my friends' houses and he had a PlayStation or an Xbox 360, I would be like, fuck, this is endless entertainment.
What?
The Wii is, you're blinded by nostalgia. The Wii had, in its time, greatness. But the Switch is better. The Switch is better than the Wii. It is. The Switch has better games, better mechanics. It reads better. Do you remember when you played on the Wii and you had that dumb sensor bar and that had to fucking read your stick? And sometimes you would be playing and it wouldn't read it and it would glitch. And then you would lose because of that, and it was so aggravating. The Switch doesn't have that problem. You could stand in a different room, and your Switch could be in your basement, and it would still read it. Like, perfectly fine. Oh, we're only a minute into the video. Eesh.
It's like Xbox doesn't really know what they want to be anymore, and the names are a symptom of that. Ever since that Xbox presentation where they just talked about the TV the entire time, Xbox has been dead to a lot of people, including me. The fall from grace that Xbox had when they revealed the Xbox cable box is astounding. Like the Xbox
I didn't know Xbox released a cable box.
360 was the gamer console. That's the console you played all your big multiplayer games on. Con got DLC packs a month early on the Xbox 360 compared to the PS3. And at the time, they were all map packs. You got a pretty substantial amount of content early. And then Halo was one of the go-to games at the time, which you could only play on the Xbox. And Halo 3 had one of the biggest midnight releases ever. Xbox really was the
Yo, when I saw a motherfucker go to GameStop to buy Black Ops 6 at like midnight on the day of release, I actually, I disassociated. I saw a TikTok of that. I don't know if anybody peeped that. There was a dude, in 2024, there was a guy that pulled up to GameStop at midnight. I didn't even know GameStop did midnight releases. It is a worker that, like, unlocks, you could tell the worker just looks disheveled. They unlock the fucking, like, metal grate and pull it up, and it's only him. It's only him. They sell one copy of the Black Ops 6, and then he dips.
And then they released the Xbox One, which was...
You made a TikTok on it? Yeah, but I don't know where the TikTok is.
All about TV. Now, everyone at the time who actually bought consoles knew this was a bad idea. Everyone got the memo except for Microsoft. And in hindsight, it's even funnier because, no one watches cable TV anymore. You probably do watch stuff on your console. It's just on the Netflix app or the YouTube app, not cable. This decision...
Yeah, I used to watch YouTube. I used to watch YouTube and Hulu on my Xbox all the time.
Market the Xbox One towards TV was just really silly, and it's especially impressive that Xbox managed to fall off this hard when the PlayStation had a pretty bad reputation. Like, PlayStation was seen as the budget option, like budget in like great value way. It's like not good, mainly because you didn't have to pay for premium connectivity, and it also got DLC later than the Xbox, so it felt cheaper. And people also didn't like the controller.
Somebody said I still do. I mean, dude, it's literally a cheaper alternative to cable. Owning cable is such a scam now that, like, the only good things cable television has is the news and sports, and that's it. Maybe, like, award shows, but most award shows are streamed on YouTube now. Most things that, like, are big events that you really want to see are on YouTube. And then even big news events are on YouTube. General Zod said check the Discord. Oh, did you send it? Oh, here it is. Oh, my God.
What it's like going to a midnight...
What it's like going to a midnight release of Call of Duty. Oh, this isn't the video, though.
What it's like
I don't know if this is a video.
going to a midnight release for a physical copy in 2024. It's not like the good old days. I'm the first to the door, but there's about 10 other people waiting in cars.
10 other people waiting in cars, and they're gonna funnel in one at a time. They're not all gonna pop in at once.
I'm picking up the brand new Call of Duty Black Ops 6 GameStop exclusive Steelbook edition.
Wow, GameStop exclusive. Why don't we hit up the wall of fucking Funko Pops too? The only thing keeping GameStop in business nowadays. What a journey, dude. It's not like everybody else that bought the digital version is already playing the game at midnight, and you had to physically drive to a GameStop store probably 25 minutes away from you to buy a copy, put it in your console, have it read it, download the disk drive info, and then launch the game. Or the worst, bro, the worst time of gaming history was when you would go to GameStop, buy something, and they wouldn't give you a physical copy. It would be a code on a receipt that you had to input in your console to get the game digitally. That was literally the dumbest mechanism that has ever existed in humankind. When did they do that? I remember, dude, when you used to pre-order Call of Duties, if you pre-ordered a COD at GameStop, because when you pre-ordered, you got like more perks on launch day. I used to do that. I used to pre-order like Advanced Warfare and shit like that. Like, I'm talking, I don't even know when Advanced Warfare came out, but that was when I fucking did this shit. You would pre-order the game. You sure you didn't buy the digital version? Well, I'm almost entirely sure that anytime you used to pre-order, you can fact check me on this, but when you would buy the pre-order version of the game for COD, they wouldn't give you a disc because how would they make it not work? So they would give me like a receipt that had, a 20-digit code. I would input that, and then it would let me download the game before it came out. So then on launch day, I could just launch it rather than having to sit there and have my fucking console download a 100 gigabyte Call of Duty file for fucking 25 hours. Y'all saying unk, but 85% of chat was 6 years old when BO3 came out. Oh my God, stop. When did BO3 come out? 2015? Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I was in middle school when BO3 was out. I think I was in like 7th grade. Grinding COD. I might have been in 5th. No, I might have been in 6th grade. BO3, one of the best CODs. The only good futuristic COD. Okay, now we got to get back on this.
There we go. Awesome. Thank you. You're welcome. Enjoy your night.
Awesome. Could I get that Joker Funko Pop as well?
Good shit.
That's up priced by 30% here. Oh my God. Is that the Freddy Fazbear plushie? Treat yourself to a Funko Ween. Oh. A Funko Ween?
This brings back some memories going to a midnight release.
Brings back memories on release just for this man to go fucking 2-20 in a fucking Call of Duty lobby.
But the point is, Xbox had all these advantages compared to PlayStation.
2-63 Nuketown just gets spawn trapped. Yo, the worst in Black Ops. I haven't played Black Ops 6 literally since Marvel Rivals came out. Black Ops 6, and I literally quit that Dark Matter grind. Black Ops 6, the worst shit was what's that score streak where they do like a carpet bomb and it lights everything on fire? They just light your spawn on fire and you just get killed repeatedly, like 7 times until it flips spawns.
The PS4 even added paying for online. So if you were buying a PS4, it was a worse deal than a PS3. And I bring all this up because really the Xbox One was the first domino and Xbox maybe never making a console again. After the Xbox One flopped, Microsoft went to Xbox and basically broke their kneecaps and told them to run. From what I understand, ever since the Xbox One, Microsoft has has not treated Xbox favorably at all, which I'm sure is not helping Xbox. And then also, somewhere down the line, Xbox forgot they're supposed to make good games with the console. They can't just make the console. When I think about the Xbox 360, I think about the games I played on it. Games like Call of Duty, Halo 3.
Well, the problem, too, is the competitive nature between Xbox and PlayStation is the only thing that's keeping PlayStation from not yanking up their prices. Because if Xbox disappears and they put nothing in its place, have fun spending $900 for the next console and fucking $95 for play. Like, obviously they wouldn't do it to that extreme, but that's how you keep prices low. The Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 lost money on each console made, right? They were selling it to you cheaper than it cost them to make. And they did that because they would make their money back on, you know, games and fucking the Game Pass and all this other shit. But they ate losses.
The Xbox Live Arcade was a lot like the Steam Early Access section. Like, you can find some amazing games, but most of them are garbage. But the Xbox 360 had games, and people were hyped for those games. And the Xbox One really didn't get much. Like, really, it was Dead Rising 3, Sunset Overdrive, Forza, and I guess Halo. I know Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, but that didn't matter for the Xbox or the PlayStation 4 because PS4, Xbox One time, everybody was playing GTA, and that was it. Like, at least that's what I was doing. When I had the Xbox One, I was playing Call of Duty and GTA. And that was, and Fortnite. Call of Duty, GTA, Fortnite.
Halo 5 had mixed reception, Forza is Forza, and Dead Rising 3 was a buggy, laggy mess. How do I know? I tried to play it. But games on the Xbox One versus the Xbox 360 fell off pretty hard. They weren't bad, but there was definitely less option. And when you get to the Xbox Series X, exclusives fall off even harder. Mainly because none of the games are really exclusive anymore. For some reason, Xbox saw the Epic Games style of, like, releasing exclusives and was like, hey, I'm gonna do that even though it literally doesn't work.
Part of the problem I had when I was playing Xbox and why I love PC is because, like, if you're hanging out with your friends playing video games, you could literally just buy a $3 game, play it, and if it sucks, like, you're down $3, who cares? The problem with Xbox was, like, your friend would be like, hey, man, this game's only $40. It's good. Buy it. And they'd finally dwindle you down to where you would get it, and then you would play it one time and never play it again.
Exclusives don't really sell consoles. Like, yeah, it helps, but it's not really selling consoles. What sells consoles is fantastic exclusive games that you can only play on that console. Nintendo is a perfect example of this. You don't buy a Nintendo console to play Call of Duty. You buy a Nintendo console.
Yo, but there's people that buy Nintendo consoles and then play fucking Fortnite on the Switch. Crackhead energy. If you're going to play regular games that aren't Nintendo brand on the Switch, you're insane.
To play Nintendo games. It's also one of the reasons why Nintendo is rarely ever compared to the Xbox or PS5. They really just aren't in the same league of consoles. And then Sony has been moving in this direction with PlayStation. Have you noticed that a lot of people have been talking about how good the games are on PlayStation versus Xbox? And then Xbox has completely abandoned this idea. Everything that releases on the Xbox is almost guaranteed to eventually be released on the PC. And then most of the time,
because they have a higher player base. They're going to make more money if they do that than if they just fucking gatekeep certain video games on platforms.
And those exclusives also end up on the PS5. Like, for example,
yeah, refund that. I'm losing my voice.
Starfield is expected to come out in the PS5 around this year or next year. There really isn't any reason to get an Xbox Series X over a PS5 unless you really like Halo or Starfield. And even then, if you like those games, you might as well just get a decent gaming PC because it's not going to be that much more than an Xbox Series X at this point. And when you factor in Xbox Game Pass,
who the fuck plays Halo anymore, bro? Y'all still play Halo?
A PC. Now, there's also the Xbox Series S, which is available and cheap. And Steam sales, it kind of makes...
Dude, Steam sales are so fire. And everybody always forgets when Steam sale is, and then randomly you open Steam and everything's 90% off, and you're like, why is this game only $2? And then I buy 20 games that I'll never play. And then Steam wins.
Cheaper, but it's hard to know if people are actually buying this thing because Xbox does not separate their sales numbers at all. They're just one graph. It's like how Tesla puts their bad selling cars all in the same category, so you can't tell which one's doing bad. Except in the case with Xbox, it's all of their consoles. And they also stopped releasing the sales numbers themselves, so we can assume that they're bad. So all we have are estimates, and they're not good. The PS5 is sold around...
I think a big thing, too, is you just buy the consoles your friends have. Crossplay is still, you know, a larger thing now, so it doesn't matter as much. But the fucking... It holds true that whatever console your friends own is the console that you're going to own. And similarly, it's the same thing with, like, iPhones. Are there better phones than an Apple iPhone? Yeah, probably. But you get fucking clowned if you don't own an iPhone. If you pull up to school and you're fucking 11 years old and you're getting your first phone and you have a fucking Google Pixel, people are going to be like, duh. It's like walking into class with Skechers on. People are going to make fun of you.
65 million units, and the Xbox X and Series S have sold under 30 million. It is currently
you pull up to class with a Huawei. Nah, that would put people, dude, that would shell shock people. You go to school one day and you just fucking throw down a fucking Chinese Huawei.
And this has been happening since the Xbox One, and it's pretty clear to me that Xbox has been giving up on the hardware side of things for a while. Like 10 years ago, Phil Spencer was talking about Xbox as a service. Xbox is clearly moving towards Xbox Game Pass as being the replacement.
Yeah, for sure. They're gonna release Xbox Game Pass, try and juice that up a bit, and just have PC players buy it.
For the Xbox console. And in my opinion, in the long term, this is a horrible decision. Like, first off,
oh, no, for sure. Nobody's gonna buy it. Hey, do you want a subscription to... It's different than music. Because Spotify works very well. Because you pay... How much is Spotify per month? Like $6? $7? Oh my god, it's $12 a month? I just have that shit on auto pay. Bro. It's $12 a month. Okay, either way, that's still, honestly, I think it's still worth it. it's fucking, dude, you get unlimited music. All right, so Spotify is still worth it because you're basically unlocking a bunch of music and you get to listen to the song and, you know, your experience is completed. The reason Xbox Game Pass kind of sucks is because, yes, you have access to a bunch of games, but you only have access to them while you're paying the recurring subscription, and you can't own the game. So you can get progress in the game, but then if you ever stop paying the Xbox Game Pass, you just lose that progress. Wasn't there a game or a gaming company that wanted their games to be subscription-based services and you're not able to buy them? What company was that? It might have been EA, because EA is money hungry. I don't know for sure, but if it was EA, there was a company that wanted to make their games unbuyable. They wanted to make it so, like, say a new Madden came out, or not a new Madden, new FIFA, you weren't able to buy the FIFA game. You were only able to pay, like, a yearly subscription for that game, and then it would just disappear. That was Ubisoft? I don't know. It was some game. It was some gaming company. That was a terrible idea. They backpedaled the fuck out of it because it was like everybody lost their minds.
Game Pass is not going to move a lot of consoles because it's Game Pass. The whole idea behind Game Pass is that everything is an Xbox. There was a whole ad campaign about it. And as a PC player, the Xbox Game Pass is perfect if you don't want to ever buy an Xbox. I can play a lot of games in existence for $12 a month. And if a new Xbox game comes out, I can pay for $12 for a month, play the game, and then cancel my subscription. At this point in time,
yeah, it's worth it for a lot of games, but any game where you make, like, substantial progress and you want to save that, it sucks.
Game Pass is only losing Xbox money. It is not making the money whatsoever. And it's not selling consoles either. So given that Xbox Game Pass is only a drain on Xbox currently, it's pretty safe to say they're doing what Netflix did in the early days of Netflix, where they start off really cheap, they get you hooked, and you keep paying for it even though the price just keeps increasing. They're basically trying to be the middleman for...
Bro, Netflix is losing money now, aren't they? Or losing subscriptions. Like, a lot of people are unsubscribing finally. It's one of those things where you feel like you're obligated to pay for them. Like, I actively pay for like, all of those streaming services, but I only use, like, what, 1 or 2 of them out of the 4 that I have in a given month. So you're just paying... Brady's saying, yeah. So you're just paying, like, fucking $16 a month. So you wait for Squid Games 2 to come out. Like, I watched Squid Games 2. Now I'm not going to use Netflix for 6 months. Because what the fuck's on Netflix? Very bad horror movies.
Gaming services where you pay a rental fee to Xbox to play games. And the goal for Game Pass is 100 million subscribers by 2030. And I don't think that's going to happen. For context, Netflix...
100 million subscribers. The fuck out of here.
Is 300 million users globally, but only about 80 million of those users are in the US. And Xbox is pretty notorious for being hated everywhere but the USA. This 100 million subscriber goal is a total shot in the dark, especially when you take into consideration that the Game Pass prices currently are way too low to be sustainable. Just like Netflix did, once they reach a certain amount of subscribers, they will increase the cost of the subscription. But if they keep increasing the price, I do not see Game Pass.
Dude, and then they make it impossible to cancel a subscription. That's why, some fucking, bro, when you fucking sign up for one of those things and it's like cancel, it like reroutes you to another page. You got to fill out a bunch of shit, reroutes you to another page. You're like, how the fuck is it canceled? You think you're good, and then you get charged the next month. Then you got to call them up. That's gyms. That's gyms. Gyms are fucking hell. Hey, oh, you want to cancel? Oh, you're going to have to pay a $400 cancellation fee. If you ever buy a gym membership, be prepared to lock in on that gym for the rest of your life. You're there, right? That's your gym. That's your gym now, right? Forever. Because if you ever want to get out of that, they got to cut your arm off.
And a lot of people who get Game Pass are probably just playing like 1 or 2 games on there. And if it costs $30 a month at some point, people are going to look at that and be like, why am I paying for this? I only play 2 games and just buy the 2 games. Also, Xbox already said they weren't going to raise prices and did anyway. It was a condition set by courts to buy Activision Blizzard to not raise the price of Game Pass. And they did it anyways. And it's only going to go up because this business model makes no sense. In what world can $20 a month get you access to hundreds of $70 games? The prices will continue to go up because they literally have to for this to be profitable. And Xbox has pushed Game.
Yeah, because they have to give money. They have to pay probably a flat fee to these companies or a percentage-based subscription on how many people play an individual company's game. Like how many people play whatever games on that console, they have to pay a fee to. And then they're probably just chunking money into the fucking ground.
If you call everything an Xbox, suddenly that Xbox you have is a lot less valuable. Like, what is the point in buying an Xbox if you can play it on your smart fridge? Actually. Now, Phil Spencer has told the Xbox team they still plan on releasing another console. But I don't necessarily believe them because Phil Spencer has lied before. He does that sometimes. And all of the signs point.
Bro, all Xbox has to do to drill PlayStation into the ground is literally use their monumental value to fucking dwarf PlayStation. I'm talking some monopoly shit. Release the next Xbox console at $300 a console. PlayStation will feasibly be unable to compete. They will not be able to lower their prices as much. I don't know if this is legal, but literally release the next Series Xbox fucking 2-3 years down the line, whenever they're fucking coming out with that shit. Release it for pennies on the fucking console to where it makes no sense for you to buy a PlayStation. Yes, PlayStation is going to have Last of Us and fucking Until Dawn, but a PlayStation $700 and an Xbox $250. I'm just going to buy the Xbox. And then PlayStation gets no new users, and they get fucking drilled into the dirt. And then Xbox, eats a fucking $100 billion loss, but now they have way more users. That's an L take. It would work. Money talks at the end of the day.
But unless they change their strategy, the next Xbox will fail, just like the Xbox Series X did. Xbox would need to make some seriously banger.
Why would it be illegal? It's their own pricing. It's their own pricing, but there are rules on what it's like you have to have a certain competitive value. Usually there's rule bases for companies to not raise their prices too much cumulatively, because if like 3 borderline monopolies were able to cumulatively agree to charge $1,000 a console, they could. And that would be unfair. But you could reasonably, as a big company, just undercut your competitors so hard that they're unable to match you. And yes, you're taking the losses, but the government may read that as like, hey, you're just going to fucking bankrupt them so then you can re-skyrocket your prices. Because if I have $1 trillion and you have $1 billion and we're both competing, I can just lose money and you can't, right? You can lose money to a degree. And am I wrong? Didn't the Xbox Series X released their prices got leaked, and then PS5 had to match them? I'm pretty sure the PlayStation 5 was going to release at a higher value than $500, and they had to lower it. because if they're not, that's why they're always priced the same. Because if they're not priced the same, then you're just going to buy the cheaper one.
Even now, a lot of the studios that Microsoft has bought have just been gutted and replaced with contract workers. And that's just not how you make a banger exclusive. It just isn't. Halo Infinite is a great example of this. Everyone was super hyped for Halo Infinite because of the beta. And then everyone found out the beta was all the content there was. And then when Xbox does make console exclusives, they completely screw over the development studios making the game. Like, why did an Xbox developer have to go public to get Xbox's attention to check their emails? That is insane. So yeah, unless Xbox changes their ways, they're going to die.
They weren't responding to their emails. Oh my God. Hey, I didn't want to have to talk about this. Xbox won't reply and I don't know what to do. All right, chat, I got to piss real quick and then we're hopping into the next video.